benda je počeo maestro Bojan Adamić, koji je bio osnivač big benda. Na početku je big band uglavnom radio tako da se je uživo uključao u prenose radija. Bio možda i zato osnovan u tom momentu. Band svirao na početku stvari austrijske šlagere u tom periodu. To je bilo nekih možda prvih 10 godina. Negdje u 50-ih su već dobili prve džez aranžmane možda na pultove. Došao je neki period slovenske popevke, to je ta zlatna era, mi to zovemo, kad je bio jako popularan big band, zbog svih tih pevača koji su svirali, nastupali i također imali smo festival Slovenska popevka. Tu negdje u razdoblju 80-ima se je pojavio Joži Priušik, koji je pustio možda najveći pečat u bendu do sad. On je radio negdje do početka 90-ih. Poslije su došao je Lojza Kranjčan, Milko Lazar od dirigentova, Emil Spruk. Je bila malo perioda da se to menjalo. Sad u zadnje vreme mogu reći da imamo možda najbolji band ikad, najbolje muzičare. Tako da su i muzičari iz benda puno pišu za band i aranžiraju. Inače su tu uglavnom sve muzičari studirali u inostranstvu, u Graz, Rotterdam, Berkeley čak. I vratili su, isto kao ja, isto tako. Radimo dosta za radio, ali to uglavnom su naši programi i onda ih urednik za džez ili za pop nam šalje narudžbu i onda mi taj program ociramo i to se uvijek snimi. Skoro svaki koncert od nas se snima isto, radijski, audio. Za danas smo spremili program koji su pisali sve aranžmane i kompozicije članova big banda.
By the age of 4, I think, or 5, my father taught me a lot. And this is how it all began. But I formally am not, I'm formally self-taught. It's the only thing I can do since I was a child. Makes me forget about the bad news, everybody hears every day. I mean, it's always, it's a nice vehicle to escapade, other things that are not so enjoyable every day. I wasn't introduced professionally in this métier because I was so young when I played with Stefan Grappelli the first time. And he helped me a lot, yeah. And then 1 year after, I recorded my first record, which was 1979, I think. And but he was a great help. As soon as you are under a record company's contract, you have to ask, to see if it's possible, of course, if you can do it. And I personally regret it very much today that I couldn't do that thing that Joe Zawinul asked me, because he was looking for a guitar player for that short band he had between Weather Report and the Zawinul Syndicate. And between he had another band called Weather Update. And I was supposed to play in that band, but unfortunately it never worked out. Tonight I have a saxophone player by the name of Frank Wolf. He's been with me for the last 20 years, almost on and off. Then I have a young bass player called William Brunard from Paris. He's a fantastic bass player. And a new drummer called Raphaël Panier. He's from Paris as well, and he's a great drummer, wonderful drummer. So it's a quartet, actually. It's like food. You can't eat every day the same stuff, This is what I try to do musically, So I keep on going, and since my early beginnings. Although my early beginnings were very influenced by Django Reinhardt, his music. So I did that for a long time until I got 15, 16, and I turned towards more electrical stuff. And since then, I've been always looking for a different kind of stuff, but always in the jazz area.
I think I would have been a better piano player if I'd have stayed with piano than I am at saxophone, personally. Piano was very natural to me. I was playing it when I was 5, 6, 7 years old. So I used to play all the time when I was a kid, and I think if I would have had a teacher when I was really young that would have shown me the right direction when I was like 6, 7, 8 years old when I started classical music, because I wanted to play jazz. I personally think so, yeah. I think I would have been a really good piano player.
My parents were very supportive of what I was wanting to do. They saw an interest, they saw somewhat of a talent, I assume, a natural, taking to the instrument. And so they let me do it. They let me practice, and so the dream was always there to play professionally, to play with great musicians, to be in the music business.
I always tell younger musicians to have a vision of where they think they want it to go and concentrate on that, as opposed to, it's got to be a fun thing in order to learn and to get better, if the more fun you have doing it. But you have to be dedicated, and you have to put the time in to study it. And, that I think is one of the keys to young musicians, especially if I'm talking about jazz. Listening is so important because that's what I did. You have to listen to records because I related to a language, to a foreign language. If you're going to learn another language, let's say people here in Serbia want to learn English, you have to listen to English all the time. If you want to play jazz as a saxophone player or a guitar player, let's say, you have to listen to it all the time in order to understand the language. So listen is a big part of it. You can't just try to play without knowing what it sounds like.
I think it started when I was pretty young in my teens when I saw a lot of really great players, but they didn't have any teaching things, for a long time, even still. And so I had the ideas when I was that young to say if there was ever an opportunity, I had ideas of what I wanted to create for drummers to have fun learning. So I did that with one of my first play-along products called Contemporary Drummer Plus One, which was a pretty popular product, and it was nothing like it at the time.
There were some books out, but there wasn't what there is now. You can go and order every single learning aid, video that's possible. So there's so many new ways of learning how to play. But I don't know if it's producing more players or not. Rhythm is a big thing for me in writing songs, and I have to have a vision in my head first. I have to have an idea that's interesting, new, fresh, for me to write it and record it. I just can't sit down and say, all right, I'm going to do a record. I have to think about it for a while first, and it's got to be something that inspires me. It might be a pop tune, it might be a country tune, it might be any kind of a tune that gives me an idea that gets me up in the morning to start writing new music. It has to be that, or a deadline. But normally it's, I just have to be inspired.
I knew, of course, Bill, played with Miles, and I'm going to step out and say, I think the first time that we actually might have at least played on the same record might have been with the guitarist from last night here at the festival, Bireli Lagren.
It's so much fun to play, especially with Dave, because he's so inspirational with what he does. And for me, it just makes it effortless for me to play. It just encourages me, inspires me to play as good as I can, and that's what we're doing all this for,
I love his way of leading because he's very open to anything, and he's very supportive of any input and ideas that we may have in his band. I mean, it's like all of us, we're sort of young at heart, kids forever.
zvanično, ovo je 3. godina za redom da sam oficijalni fotograf našeg Novosadskog džez festivala. Džez je sa mnom povezan, od kad znam za sebe, zahvaljujući mom ocu koji me uveo u taj svet. Ta improvizacija na sceni je fantastična i u odnosu na to tako ja kreiram svoje viđenje te muzike, da pokušavam kroz to svetlo i kroz te boje koje ja stvaram, da napravim neku sliku kao uspomenu tog zvuka kog sam u tom momentu čuo. Dakle, izuzetno je i zahtevno, ali i tako isto inspirativno. Negde oko 380 fotografija je bilo u tom završnom prvom velikom odabiru i onda je trebalo mesec dana čupkanja da dođemo do ovih što smo ovde prikazali, znači nekih 60. Tu sam opet pokušao da ne bude klasična fotografija dokumentarnog tipa ili čisto umetničkog samog izvođača, orkestra, soliste, nebitno, nego neke detalje i sekvence da izvučem kroz tu neku emociju što ili donao instrument ili sam izvođač. Pošto sam veliki poštovalac i vinila, koji je nosilac zvuka, pogotovo ranije bio, ja sam hteo da ove fotografije budu formata 30 puta 30 cm, kao što nam je velika ploča.
I was born and grew up in Cuba, beautiful island in the Caribbean. And yes, as you said, I started classical piano. In Cuba, all musicians are classically trained. We have conservatoriums where we go and study for free. So it's for me, one of the best systems that one can have for a music education. And I love classical music very much, and I'm very thankful that I had a classical education, because for me it's like the basis for everything, and classical music is so beautiful. And I think I can play today jazz the way I do because of my classical training. Even though we have inside, the conservatorium walls, you have Mozart and Beethoven and Rachmaninoff and Brahms and all these beautiful Bach, beautiful composers. When you go outside on the street, what you hear is jazz and song and salsa and reggaeton and all that. So these both worlds are together in our country, in perfect harmony. We cannot separate classical music from popular music, from jazz, from salsa. So that's a phenomenon that I think only happens in Cuba. I live in Germany, and in Germany, for instance, there's a very strict, separation between classical music and everything else, rock, pop, or jazz. So we don't have that. And for me, particularly, I believe, and I think really that, and it's my approach to music, that music is just one. Just think universal, big, like a big universe, there's so much and so many colors that you can use. Omar is very special. I love him very much. Such a unique piano player and a wonderful human being, and I love him. We have a duo project. It's called Manos, and I play with him very often. And yes, one of my favorite pianists and favorite people in this world, and an inspiration for me for many, many, many years. I'm very grateful that now I have the opportunity to play with him and to, you know, hang out with him, which is really cool. I'm here with my trio, Juan Camilo Villa on bass and Miguel Altamar on drums. The boys are from Colombia, from the coast, from Barranquilla, Colombia. Amazing musicians and family for me. We know each other for many, many, many years, and we've played many concerts and recorded, and we are like, you know, three musketeers. We've been together for such a long time, the boys, and I love them very, very much. And I'm very happy that we get to play here tonight. And we are presenting our most recent album called Reload, which is a homage to the music, not only Cuban music and Afro-Cuban, my Afro-Cuban roots, because normally all my albums are very Cuban focused, you know, on Cuban music. So I wanted to explore this other part of Latin America that is not only Cuba. You know, there are many, many countries with amazing culture in Latin America.
Coming from a musician's family, so it's almost like we grew up always with all kinds of music in the apartment, in the house. So it's like, for me, just a little different spice the chef uses, little stuff like that. But what's the food? The food is music.
He's a very no-nonsense person and musician. He's always pushing the boundaries of music. We have a very good chemistry, and he's one of the greatest musicians I've ever known in my life. And that's including, I played with Dizzy Gillespie and Sonny Rollins and John McLaughlin, people like that. Aydin is right there.
He is incredibly aware and alert, and he hears everything, and he responds to everything. So the ability to communicate in music as a conversation, for real, actually, like, communicating musical ideas in real time as you play a concert, for instance, that is, I don't know many people who can do that.
I fell in love with his music and him, and we have been playing since 1985 until now. We played all over Boston, and we also played in New York a lot. And I've gone to Turkey and played with him in Turkey, which was great. And we used to practice together a lot and jam together a lot. So we have a long history.
Berkeley was good place to meet good people, share thoughts and talk about concepts, make good friends early age, play with them, go on the road, visit different places, and then also very, very thoughtful, great older brothers of us that, they showed us some different ways when we were younger. And then I did Boston for a little while, and then I came to New York just to leave after Berkeley, and then to New York. So New York was, of course, we passed by Juilliard or where I was teaching in the New England Conservatoire too. So I started doing my lessons and stuff like that to New York just to share the info.
First band that we played was my band, and it was my music basically that we played. But it very quickly became something else, and I think that the variety of musical backgrounds is key to it. We both have jazz and classical, and rock music or whatever kind of backgrounds, and we just are able to explore all these non-genre expressions of music.
I used to be in New York a long time. Back in Istanbul, Jonas Hellborg, our bass player friend, he's back in Sweden. And our drummer, Tommy Campbell, he was in Japan for a while. He's back in his own town, New York. But we all met in New York in the 80s and went on the road and do certain things. And then we talk from time to time, just say, hey, shall we do something? And then if we have a little request coming from you guys or anywhere in the world, we were like so excited. We're saying, okay, we're going on the road again. Let's take it and to the next level, hopefully. The good thing is that what I heard is it is nice here. You have a concert hall here, we play here, but just next door, you have a jam session room. It's almost like such a unique place that we missed that kind of stuff in, like in jazz, not non-jazz conservatories. You kind of play jazzy or modern. They might get a little bit uptight and they're saying, what is that? What is this thing? So time, it did a good thing in a way on older people to be open. Let the people do their thing. Of course, Berkeley is important. Of course, Conservatoire of Serbia is important. Serbia, Paris Conservatoire is beautiful. Vienna is great. I visit those places and play them. But I never seen really just next door to each other like I see in, here. And you said that, next door you go and make some noise. You listen to some other music after listening to like some great symphony.
The learning process with Thad Jones, who co-founded the Thad Jones Mel Lewis Orchestra, was having to always listen with my ears, always pay very close attention to all the music that was coming around me. So Thad Jones sometimes would change an arrangement while I would be singing it. And he would say to me that they were going to go back to a certain letter in the arrangement, say letter D. And he would say, we're going back to letter D. And he called me Runyon. And I would be like, and he would say, just listen. And so I learned from Thad to always pay attention to what musicians play. An album that is special to me is the very first album that I did called Afro Blue. I recorded it in Tokyo, Japan. It happened in 1973, and in the United States I had been, trying to get a recording deal, and people were not interested in me. So the fact that the man who was part of the production team that brought the Thad Jones Mel Lewis Orchestra to Tokyo, the fact that he heard something in my voice and put up his money, his personal money, to produce my first album, and the fact that today this album, which is called Afro Blue, is a collector's item and really thought of highly. That is something that will always remain special to me. It's the beginning of my career.
Send you to another world, mesmerize your brain. It's the jewel of a pearl, makes you go insane, and it's supposed to be love. Yes, it's supposed to be love. Well, it's supposed to be love. Say, 'cause it's all 'cause of love.
I love acting. I would love to do more acting. I'm hoping that next year, because I'm not working as much, that, that will allow some acting opportunities to happen.
Sour grapes and tears. Something dark is going on for years.
Well, I did jazz set with Dee Dee Bridgewater for 13 years, but before that I did a show that I recorded in Paris called Le Jazz Club from Paris, and that was also syndicated on our national public radio. And so I had that experience before. The first 10 years of that program, it was called Jazz Set with Branford Marsalis. And I was in the last, I'd say 2 years of his doing the show, I was asked to replace him a lot. And at the end of each show, I would say, then this is Dee Dee Bridgewater. And then there would be a pause, and I'd say, and I want this job.
You might be a rock and roll addict prancing on the stage. You might have drugs at your command, women in a cage. You may be a businessman or some high-degree thief. They might call you doctor or they might call you chief, but you're gonna have to serve somebody. You're gonna have to serve somebody. Well, it may be
There are areas in the United States where I feel comfortable as an artist. There are spaces in the United States that I feel comfortable as an artist, but if you compare it to the whole of France, no, it is not quite the same.
It was a live recording of this song that Nina did. So she says, the name of this song is Mississippi Goddamn, and I mean every word of it.
In our current state of affairs, politically speaking, I do not feel safe anywhere in the United States, especially because my skin is brown.
Can't you see it? Can't you feel it? It's all in the air. I can't take this pressure much longer. Somebody say a prayer. Alabama's got me so upset. Tennessee made me lose my breath. Everybody knows about Mississippi. Goddamn!
I decided, with the stature that I have, with the reputation that I have, that if I was to create an all-female band, people might pay attention more. We do have the band that Rini Rosnes created, Artemis, and there are now some all-female bands. You can find us everywhere. What still isn't happening is the integration of female and male working together. I choose to have an all-female band because it is the first time that I feel that I can be completely myself as an artist and as a woman. And the talk that we can have and the banter in the dressing rooms is all female oriented, and that's a wonderful thing.
I wish I could share all of the love that's in my heart. Remove all the bars that keep us apart. I wish you could know how it feels to be me. Then you'd see and agree that every man should be free.
I know that the musicians that I employ, I want them to, and I know that I can be a stepping stone in their careers to help them get to the next level. I am very much aware that using the women that I'm using now with the repertoire that I am doing, that it does give them a little extra notoriety, we could say. I love mentoring women. I love that I can now provide women with the same opportunities as young male musicians that have worked with me. And I'll probably just keep doing it because it feels good.